Well, look who it is. We saw him last night jumping around. No, he's jumping over here. Jeffrey Gurian. Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey. Jeffrey, you were jumping around and you were jumping back and forth.
I've never stopped. Not even with the heart attack.
You know, Jeffrey had he broke a big news story this week with D.L. Hughley that, everybody was paying attention to.
Man, I think it's been my biggest column so far. We got over 1,000 Facebook shares in one day.
I don't know about
so
Facebook.
great.
It just blew up, man. Everything. I wasn't, I had a feeling it was DL because Pam Anderson was in it too, and she's really popular. But DL tweeted it out, and he's amazing. I mean, he's such a great guy. Well, he's.
Well, you know what? I don't even know. What does DL stand for?
I never asked him.
I'm going to say David Lawrence.
I think it's on the down low.
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
Jeez, do you know what that means, Jeffrey?
No. What does that mean?
It means when two guys blow each other, but they don't want anybody to know about it.
Oh, well, that's not him then. No, he's totally hetero. I don't know.
Well, you say that like there's something wrong with being gay, Jeffrey.
Is that what you think, Jeff?
No, I don't judge people. You know that.
I know that about you. He doesn't judge. That's why he would be terrible in court.
Yeah, exactly. Because I can't come to because I feel bad for both sides. I want everybody to win.
We should do a show called Can't Judge Judy, where Jeffrey's in there and he's just not making up his mind about anything.
I never come to a conclusion.
No.
That's the thing. And the show stays on forever that way.
And occasionally you just take off your glasses and rub the top of your nose. I didn't know there was going to be so much.
Exactly. I can't deal with the controversy. That's it. I can't come to a conclusion.
This is something about Jeffrey. If anyone's fighting in the room, Jeffrey just kind of shuts down. You know what I mean? Like he does
just powers down.
Yeah, he kind of powers down. He just sits there. He doesn't look at the fighting. Because remember, there was a couple crazy Fez days.
Yeah.
That Jeffrey would be, in the room on.
Well, I was in the middle.
He just wouldn't focus.
I disconnect.
Yes.
It's so uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
It's really very hard for me to deal with that. Controversy, and confrontational shit like that.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable for me. I don't know where that comes from, but that's just part of who I am. It's just weird.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Chris says he's going to beat you up after school.
Well, I was hoping for that. Right, I'm meeting him in the schoolyard.
Yeah, right next to the bike rack.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'm not going to the bike rack. I'm not leaving that way.
It's been a long time since Chris and I have had a real punch-out. So
I would always like that in middle school or junior high, as we called it. Some guys would just say, I'm not doing it. I'm not in this. I'm not in the fight. I'm just not in it. Oh, you're in it. There would be a big crowd of people. Once you missed your bus so that you could see the fight, there was going to be a fight, said the crowd.
There was definitely going to be a fight one way or the other. Absolutely.
The crowd demands blood.
Yes, like the Gold Gladiator shit. That's it, man. The crowd demands blood.
Yeah. Well, big week for Jeffrey. He's got the big news item, and he jumped around.
And I had the most amazing experience. I know you always kid me about
Unmasked,
I believe in all these things. I believe in magic, and I believe in past lives. But I had an experience with contacting the dead.
Yeah.
The past few weeks, I was listening to this guy, Thomas John, on the radio. I just happened to tune in like late on, I think it's on Sunday night on I think WABC, he does a show, and he's called the Manhattan Medium, and I hear him telling people over the phone who call in about their deceased relatives, and it fascinated me. And all of a sudden, I get invited to an event. I find out he's doing an event in Manhattan on Saturday night, it was. And so I show up, and I'm sitting up front, and he wanders around with his eyes closed, and he picks up on people in the audience, and he says he tells the whole crowd, there must have been over 100 people there.
Wow.
And he's like, and he says, think of people that you've lost, that you're close to, concentrate on them, and try to bring them in, right? So I thought of my parents, and Marge and Ray Gurian, and he walks over towards my part of the stage, and his eyes are closed, and he says, is there anyone here who relates to the name Ray? Now, I assumed that if it would be anybody, it would be my mom, because my mom would have dressed me for her whole life. If she fixed my hair and put out clothes for me, that would make her happy, right? But he says Ray. So I said, yeah, that's my dad. And then he said to me, I'm getting a name. He goes, it sounds like a nickname. Does the name Kitty mean anything to you? And I said, yeah, that was my grandmother, my father's
her
mother.
Vagina.
It was what?
That was her kitty. Now, but see, Jeffrey, here's the difference, because I've seen the tape, right?
Oh, yeah, I sent it to you.
Now,
yeah.
I want you to go back and watch the tape and see how much you helped him.
No, I only answered after he said it.
Yes,
he said
but
to me, "Who's Rose?" Rose was my great-grandmother. I never said anything, and I acknowledged. All you can say after he says something is yes or no, like to acknowledge.
It's not true.
You didn't do that.
That's not true. I watched it.
Right, and what did I give him?
The guy's saying, did he drink a lot? And you said he sold liquor. And he's like,
he
yes,
saw my dad
saw
with liquor
him
bottles.
with a bunch of liquor bottles.
He said that
But
afterward. He said
yeah.
he worked in a liquor store, though.
Pardon me? No, he said to me, "Did your dad drink?" And I said, "No, never." And then he said, "I see him with liquor bottles all over." And I said,
that
yes,
was
he
after
was a
the
liquor
fact.
salesman.
You got to
said
go
he
back
worked in
and
the liquor
watch
store.
that. Yeah.
I
Here's
will.
the thing,
I
Jeffrey.
didn't give him any information at all.
When you do that, you've got to put your wallet down the front of your pants because these are Carny tricks.
Listen, he had every fact, man. He said to me, "Did your dad face
watched
an
it.
amputation? Did he die because he loved sweets, and was sweets part of?" Yeah, and he had diabetes, and that's what killed him. And he said, "I see a book in your future, an opportunity for a book." I'm like, "My book is coming out in a week. Man robs bank with his chin is finally here. I got to show it to you guys."
You did show us last night.
Well, that's just the test version of it. All I showed you was...
I see you with the book. I see you jumping around.
You saw him say that. I see a book opportunity for you. And then he said, your dad says when you leave here, you're going to a place that's really crowded. You know, I was going to a show. I was performing.
You go to a show every night.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. He didn't know me from a hole in the wall. He never saw me before. His eyes were closed. He said the most amazing. He knew every fact about my family.
Jeffrey.
He said to me,
No, he didn't.
Jeffrey,
What?
did you get a balloon and cotton candy with this show?
"See, you're a doubter. How can you doubt it when a guy knows?"
Oh, no,
so
I
much?"
know. He's the only... He talks to dead people.
I don't know if he talks to dead people, but he's definitely a psychic. He definitely has abilities. There's no way that he could have.
He
had all
just
those
said he
facts.
was talking to dead people.
His ability would be talking to the dead.
Yeah.
And
I'm
relaying those
open to that.
informations.
I'm open to that, but you're obviously not. You don't
Here's
want to
the thing.
believe in that. Why does it threaten you to believe in?
Why would I feel threatened? I fucking grew up in Carny life. I'm fine with it.
No, you're not. You obviously.
Can I tell you something, Jeffrey?
You.
There's nothing I think that's funnier than a Rube walking down the Midway. I love it.
Yeah, but he's real, man. You don't think that there are some people that have real powers? Like
Just
through some
Tommy John
accident?
surgery. He's the guy.
Pardon me?
Tommy John. He's the guy who invented Tommy John
Helps a
surgery.
lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
He's also a ball player, right?
but here's the deal, Jeffrey. Let's suppose I had the ability to talk to the dead. Why would I just start selling that at gigs? Why wouldn't I be just...
Because you would think of it as a spiritual thing that was passed down to you. You'd
Yeah.
use it for good, you're saying. You
Right.
use
Well,
it
I'd be
to make money.
calling
Well, he
and
does
saying
do it
when the
for
next
good.
terrorist strike is going to be.
But
Or you would be
know what?
reaching out to people.
Murder. Murder. I would lay in my pool and I would go, murder. Jeffrey, I'm
I'll
glad
tell
you
it made
enjoyed
me
the show.
It made me feel wonderful. Haven't you ever wondered what happens afterwards? It was so nice to think that all my relatives were together.
You always believed that. No,
Yeah, but I wasn't really sure. I mean, I like to
you've
believe
constantly said you believe in aliens. You believe that aliens built the pyramids.
You know what? I do. I believe in ancient aliens. I believe in all positive things. Anything that is not a negative, that doesn't have a negative aspect.
Do you believe in
to
the
it,
devil?
I don't want to believe in that because it's a negative thing.
Right, so you believe
I believe in evil. I believe that there are evil forces.
Yeah.
But I
Wait,
allow my
I'm-
mind to be open to that.
Hold up, I'm
You
picking
know
up
what?
on evil right now.
Arrogant to say that you know that
He's-
something doesn't exist.
First of all, I didn't say anything. I saw you helping this guy tell his story, which happens you know Penn Jillette, right?
Sure, and he's
Call him up because he spends his entire life fucking with this kind of stuff.
No,
the
I know,
amazing Randy spends his entire life, but you're acting like I'm negative because I'm not just saying, "Oh, great, your parents are together." If that's what you feel, you feel. I don't have to prove something that can't be proven anyway. It's
I
not
wish
my
I could
job to
show
prove
it
it.
to you See, if he did something with you, I hope you never lost anybody that means anything to you, but I bet...
How could I not? I'm a human being. I'm a middle-aged human being.
Well,
I've lost nothing but tons of fucking people.
Say something negative, but if you do, it would be so interesting if he told you facts that he could not have known about you. That would be interesting. I have no interest in promoting him, just that it was an amazing experience for me to hear him tell me things that my dad was saying. There was a lot of other things that he said. I couldn't tape it all. I was in such shock. I forgot to press play on my phone. And
you do that all the time anyway, Jeffrey.
I do. I always fuck up technology. I always do that. And some lady behind me leaned over and pressed the record button on my phone. She actually saw that it wasn't recording.
Yeah.
So, but, you know.
Normally, the only time that he hits record is when he's having sex.
That's it. That's it. And that I hardly show to anybody.
Almost anybody.
I wouldn't,
Come on, Jeffrey.
I'd send it to you and Chris, but that's about it.
Sure.
Because I know you'll never show it to anyone.
Fucking Chris is always like, hey, good news. Jeffrey's porn's in.
All right, let's watch Jeffrey's porn.
It's pretty weird.
Jeffrey, I'm glad that you feel positive about this. I know that you want your parents to be together, and that's all nice. But just the fact that you think that all of us haven't lost people, you know, we all have. We're all human beings.
I know, but I would never say that to you. I'm not going to assume. I know you have parents. I'm not going to,
I had 4 kids in my block growing up. Got killed.
Pardon me?
4 kids in my block growing up.
Okay, so I wonder if he could tell you about them.
What did I want to know? When they died? What they're doing over there? No, I mean, if you have to say to me, look, if I would think that there would another world, I'd expect all those people to say, I love you. I get it. I feel that without getting some message from beyond, that love exists in me.
So you think that when it's over, it's just over, that we just lay in the ground forever and nothing happens?
None of us know. I don't see the difference between that and one of those snake handlers acting like they know. We don't know. We'll have to find out on the big fucking dance, Jeffrey.
Exactly. We don't know, and that's why I say, look, there's so many scam artists. I don't say that I believe in all of them.
I feel like I'm talking to one.
I just think that some people have powers. That's what I believe.
I know, superpowers, like in the comic books.
Yeah, they can fly and shit.
Laser eyes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I know Chris knows people with superpowers. He told me a couple of times.
No, I just believe in the Loch Ness Monster and sea creature animals.
You believe in things. You believe that there's stuff
in the physical world.
Yeah.
Your Sasquatches.
Unknown.
Your Chupacabras.
I will tell you this. I got a message one night, and it wasn't that long ago, from my Uncle Ray. He's my godfather. And I got a message, must have been like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just laying there. And I get a message, and he goes, don't forget it's your aunt's birthday. And I pick up the phone. I go, I never forget. Don't call me 3 o'clock in the morning, Ray. Call me during work hours.
Oh, he was just calling you late night.
Oh, yeah. He's still alive.
Oh, I thought
he's still alive, but he always just acts like I forget things, and I don't.
Wow.
So that I kind of agree, I believe in.
How is it other people don't have? It's certainly possible.
Well, no, it's just a phone, Jeffrey. Everybody's got one, you know? Mine happens to be,
know what I'm saying.
Mine happens to be an iPhone.
It's like believing in God. You can choose not to, but I believe that, I always ask the same thing. How does it diminish you to open your mind to the concept that something could be possible? How does it take away from you in any way?
Let me just say this, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
If you believe, right?
I do believe, yeah.
Then why would you need any of us to believe?
Just because I want to share the joy.
You don't have to. We already have joy in our life. It's the anniversary.
You can never have too much joy.
You can have too much almond joy. That's how your father lost the toe.
Been there.
Because of the nuts, you can have too much almond. The Mounds is better.
Here's Ford in Jersey.
Hey, Jeffrey, you said you were invited. I'm curious, how did they invite you? How did they get your information? Did you get something in the mail?
I got an email.
You got an email, so you had to give them your email and some information with that, right?
No, I knew the guy who was producing the event.
Okay, so somehow they knew your name before you went there, correct?
The guy who was producing the event knew my name, but there's no information about me or my great-grandmother or any of the facts. There's nothing that he mentioned that my father had a sense of humor, that he was into comedy. It doesn't.
All right, let me just say this.
Yeah.
Does everyone here feel like their father had a sense of humor?
Of course.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever met a human being that didn't have a sense of humor.
Everyone has.
Well, not just that he said he was funny. My dad was the one who turned me on to comedy, took me to comedy movies. He instilled a sense of comedy in me. And for him to come up with that out of nowhere.
Hey, some people fail, Jeffrey. You know, he just didn't pull it off. He had a dream, he didn't pull it off.
Who, my dad or this guy?
He sold liquor, you know?
Look, here's the deal.
Yeah.
If you believe, and there's no reason that you shouldn't believe, because the guy said, did he lose a leg? And you said, no, a toe. And then everybody went, ooh.
Well, I did healing work on him, and he attributed that. And his doctor wouldn't co-author an article with me. My dad was in danger of losing his leg, and I was working on him for about 3 weeks to increase the circulation. And the circulation improved so much that they only had to remove his little toe instead of his whole leg. And the doctor was amazed. He said, I have no explanation for why his circulation improved so much. And my dad said because I was doing this energy work on him, this healing work, and he wasn't open to the concept, because I asked him if he would co-author an article with me, and he said no. The only thing he would give me was a statement that the circulation improved dramatically, and he has no idea why. And that's why it was meaningful that he brought that up, that my father was thinking of that, because it saved his leg.
All right, Jeffrey. I got to go to break.
Okay. Thanks for the time, guys. Always fun to talk to you.
Bye, Jeffrey.
So long, Gail. See you soon, honey.
Bye. He's adamant about this guy. I was going to bring him in until I saw the tape.
And then you felt it was too clearly.
I'm going to send you it tonight. He put it on, what did he put it on, Chris?
Dropbox.
He put it on a Dropbox. I just saw Jeffrey helping him, like it happens at all these things.
It happens at all of them. I have seen, certain shows where they have somebody who claims to be a medium, and you can see the power. It's like a salesman, or there's ways to manipulate conversation in which somebody will give you exactly what they're looking for. And the sad thing about most of these things, like if you watch the Long Island Medium, is most of these people are reaching out for someone. Like they found her, they asked her to come to them.
They got an empty spot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's surprising how many people will fill that void for her to say, I want to give you the information, because the truth of it is they want to believe that someone is reaching out to them.
Well, if you lose a loved one, a kid, a brother, whatever, particularly if you've got anything left unsaid, or if you're just like Jeffrey and your constant wish is to make sure that the universe is a safe and loving place that puts light and attention on you at all times. Yeah, you're going to help get to that.
Yeah.
If you're like Chris, and you think that the world is a cold, dark place filled with Loch Ness monsters.
Yeah. Sasquatch.
You're going to be able to do that.
And you could use that same logic in the opposite of maybe if you're a person who is adamant that there's no way that could ever exist, you would look for all the holes. You have to know on the other side of that, of course, somebody is going to say, I want to believe this.
Yeah. I spent, I was with a bunch of people in a so-called haunted house with a psychic overnight.
All right.
Fucking slept like a baby.
Now, were other people experiencing things who maybe were more likely to want to believe that they were?
Yeah, like he was saying, do you see my face changing to look like the face of someone? What? And if you stare at someone's face in the dark, and his hair was spray painted silver anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can see all kinds of shit. We've all done it when we were kids. If somebody just starts to...
Sure.
As soon as one person freaks, other people start to freak.
Yeah.
As soon as someone goes, did you hear that? We all start listening for things.
Hear something.
Yeah, hear something. Sounded like a voice.
That right there? That's it.
But, these people were sure they had a fucking haunted house. They had a house. I mean, first of all, you live in... Michelle with one L. There she is. Adorable. If you live in Manhattan, most of us live in an apartment that somebody was murdered in.
Of course,
because there's been so many murders in these apartment houses.
Yeah.
Every one of them should be fucking, haunted.
Yeah, if I live in a pre-war building, 6 floors, probably 20 apartments on each floor. It's been around that long. How many people died in that building? A ton, probably.
John Hughes died on the street just a couple blocks from here, and I never heard anybody say I'm hearing Pretty in Pink every time I walk by.
That would be pretty weird, though.
I see dead people.
I believe you. I want to believe you.
And someone wrote in, Chris is not a medium. He's in double XL. That doesn't make sense.
That's mean.
You never said that you were a medium.
No.
Thank you. I'm not. I just believe in, real things. Chupacabra. A merman, maybe.
You believe in mer people?
Watching that video that Jeffrey sent us, that guy seemed lazy.
The guy who invited Jeffrey invited him so he would promote it on his column and,
Sure.
on the radio. How easy would it be? He'd go, hey, the guy's from the Bronx.
Yeah. He's a comedian.
Jumps around.
Yeah. Used to be a rock and roll dentist.
He was there when pizza first came to the Bronx.
I was there. And you know what? People didn't like it at first. It's an acquired taste. You'd get Birdie pizza. She would fucking want it every day. It's pizza. No one has to say, I'm not sure.
Not sure about this pizza.
Let me try it again.
Taste.
What's your number one pizza topping?
I like just plain cheese pizza.
Plain cheese.
Pepperoni.
Meat lovers.
They say pepperoni is number one with 26% of. That's all, though.
Wow. So it's pretty
It's
varied.
Pretty varied. A lot of people go mushroom.
I like mushroom.
What do you mean? Ugh.
I just don't
it's a
like
food.
mushrooms. If give me hand me a slice.
know
But
what?
you're
I'll
aware
get-
it's a food that people put on pizza.
And I find it disgusting.
Actually, pizza, most of the things that are being called pizza now don't even look like pizza or act like pizza. There's some version of pizza. It's like sweet potato pizza. You're like, is there any real pizza, though?
Yeah, I'll have a slice of real pizza now. Thank you.
Break. Back. Bennington.